And a very good Monday morning. What are we doing today? Well, we're going to dry line these two walls, that one there and that one there. We're pretty much in here this week to get this kitchen plastered out. Still not got the van. I've actually not got the car today either. I had to do an early morning run for stuff, drop it off, take the car back, and the missus has got the car for the day, and that's going to be the case for the rest of the week. So I'm going to have to walk to and fro the job. I feel like a pauper. Anyway, right, let's crack on with today's tete-a-tete. Bit of dry lining, beading, PVA-ing, bit of bonding, all sorts. So sit back, relax, and enjoy today's video. And it's always good practice to put a couple of little strips of plasterboard on the floor, so the board itself isn't sat on the floorboards, it's raised slightly. Once you've dry lined it and it's set, you can take the little bits out and you've got that gap between floor and board. So we get our board now, put the bottom corner in, and see there it's on a bit of an angle because the bottom corner is touching the corner of the other wall, and then gently push it in, and that way your board has gone lovely and square to that existing edge. And we just put the two, make sure it's in position, bit of a tap, and hopefully it hasn't dried out because we've been talking. Right, well the bottom one's marked up lovely, the top one it's only marked half of it, but that's fine because we know the size of the back box, so we can just draw a little pencil marking around it with the tape, etc., and get a good position for the back box. So then what we do, we cut out with our pad saw or a knife, as the case will be today, because my pad saw's in another toolbox in the van, of course it is. Right, I'll crack on with that. Okay, so you can see there on the board now that we've got the marking for the back box. Okay, we can see now that the back boxes are cut into the board. Quite simple and nice and neat. It's a neat way of doing it. You can do it via measurements, but if you just, like I said, wet up your back box, tap your board against it, it'll give you a perfect reading of the size of opening you need to make. So now what we do is cut a little strip for the top. Right, there's two ways you can do this. You can use your bucket trowel, put some dabs on, or you can use your handball and your hawk and do it that way. Now if I was doing, you know, like a full room or like I was doing yesterday, I'll be using the hawk and the trowel. But I'm just going to do it with the bucket trowel today. And again, this is just to take a few tile. So we're not going to be too fussy filling the edges right the way around the bottoms and things, because there's no skirting boards going on it, there's no cupboards, there's nothing. It's just purely to hold some tiles. So we start off with some dabs. Want to be about probably inch and a half thick, something like that. You can see there. Just get your dab, spot it on, like so, down to the bottom there, feel against the floor, and then a few just in the middle. So it doesn't need that much on here because of what it is. Right, so we've got our spots on there now, our dabs. And all we do now is just get the board, push it into it, put the level on, plumb it, and that's pretty much the process of dabbing a board on. There's not a lot more to it. It would ring now, wouldn't it? Right, where were we? Okay, so we just get the board now. Put your bottom in first. Bottom of your board, that is. I don't mean that. I mean bottom of your board. Make sure it's tight to one corner. And just gently push it into place. Just so it's got hold of it. You don't want to be banging it back just yet. For the simple reason, you want to put the level on it and make sure it's plumb. Or plumbish, you know. We're not a mill out, we're not bothered about that, but 3-4 mil, yeah. So we'll get it as near as we can. That just wants a little tap there. And then we go across that way. Across that way, like that. I mean, at the end of the day, there's a tiler going to come and tile this. So it doesn't want any big dips or bumps in the middle or anything like that. It wants it nice and plumb on the corners. And it'll also want it nice and square. So that's looking lovely now, that one. Right, so that is that one in. And that's going to go nowhere. Once that adhesive has dried, to get it off there, you hammer and bolster the right job. So, you know, it's on for the duration. Right, so next what we've done, because I had cut it as a full sheet that to go up, but then I couldn't get it in because of the pipe there. I struggled. So I've cut it down and I'm just going to bed the piece on top of it now. Same procedure. Oh, nice big block of drywall. And any of you lads out there in the trade, normally drywall that I've over the years have been buying, which is the gypsum drywall adhesive, is a grey colour, greyish whitey colour. This is pink. How long have they been doing it pink? I opened the bag up and thought I got the wrong stuff for a minute. But what have I got here? Again, let's get some dabs on there. We'll put a few more in there just in case they have something, you know, on there for metal spoons or something. I don't know. I mean, the chap that owns this place, it's an Italian couple, lovely couple, but they have got a restaurant, Italian restaurant, so he's a chef. So, yeah, you know, there'll be some good meals cooked in here, I bet. I've actually been for a meal at the restaurant, very good. Very good indeed. I give you the name of it, but I just really can't remember what it's called. So again, just press it in very lightly, making sure it's to the corner over there. And then we get the bigger one. Now we're not going to plumb it, we don't need to plumb it because we know the bottom's plumb. This is purely a straight edge to make sure that that top piece isn't leaning in or out. Okay, that's now finished. Very blunt saw, not mine, is here. I do have a lovely chop saw, but obviously not with me. Off it comes. Right, that's all cleaned up now. That was a piece of tatty 3x2 full of screws. So it's now cut to size, the screws are removed and we can use it. Talk about recycling. Right, you can see up there, there's a piece of white timber, and that's what we're going to screw to now. And hopefully that timber will pull in, because it is actually on a bit of a tilt. I mean, that's been there for a million years, that piece of timber. Get that screw in there. Another one in. Right, and that boy is going nowhere now. That's good and solid. We just get our ball again. It's still in there, and it's still in there, which is good. Which is good. So this piece here, what we're probably going to have to do with it is, we're going to have a step and a bead, and then the head down there, because instead I can't take it out, because it goes right the way up. It goes miles up there, and you've got all this sealing that's been put in. They've fastened it to that board. Right, so we've marked on here where our timber wants to go, squared it up off the window frame. We're going to put a screw in and just start it. There we go. The battery's running out. Right, you can see now I've put some strips of blue plastic stuff down the side of the frame. Now that's basically stopping the brickwork and the boards touching each other. Okie dokie, that's the dabbing around that window done, and the reveals, etc. Just gotta dab that little column there next. But yeah, it went quite well, that, considering I hadn't actually planned on doing all the carcassing today. It's gone well. It's all lovely and square and plumb and parallel around the frame and everything. So I'm happy with that. Yeah, and the crappy bit of timber that was at the top above the window, I've double boarded it and put a bead on it. So we've now got a little return. Not a lot else I could do with that, with it being that timber being fastened up above the ceiling. Yeah, looks great. Right, well we've done the timber work, and we then boarded it, and we've now skimmed it. And there's your finished article. Are you happy with that? Let me know in the comments what you think. And we've got those 2 water pipes sticking out there, because in this little recess here, it's going to be the kitchen sink. And I know, you know, it's going to be covered and all that, but it's fresh canvas in it. You know, they've got the whole room as brand new, plasterwork wise. So why spoil it and only go part way just because it's going to have a kitchen unit there? I'd rather do the whole thing, make it look nice. Do you want to know a little trick? Right, take a look at that corner from there, that rounded corner, the arch. Oh, that's a metal skin bead. Yeah. So I've got that round there like that. Well, it's quite simple. We just use our tin snips. Would you like to see how it's done? Okay, let's do it. Okay, so the first part of the procedure is to figure out what length bead you'll need. And in this particular case, in English, it's 9 foot. So cut all length to 9 foot. And then we've got to figure out how long the arch itself is, meaning that bit of the arch, how long is it? Because we need to cut the bead for that particular size arch. Okay, let's cut this one to length. Right, so we've now got it to length, and what we need, because we've already measured the radius, no point in me filming that for you, we want 2 foot 6 in English. So those are 2 foot 6, you can get the page out where that is, which is right. So what we do next, we snip that out of the bead. But we're only going to do one side of the bead, don't do both sides, only one side. And you need to be doing them about 1.5 inches apart, like so. And you do that all the way down to that end. And what that will allow is for the bead to bend around that arch. You've got to pre-bend it, which I'll show you in a minute, but it allows it to bend around that arch. But you need to leave that back edge intact. If you try and cut that one, it'll just break on you. That'll be you, you'll be cutting another bead. Right, so we snip them all out. And notice as well, excuse me, you'll notice as well, we're not cutting the very last bit of the bead. We're leaving that lip on there. Very important that you leave that lip on. So if you cut through that, again, you've compromised the strength of the bead and it'll just basically fold up on you. So for all of you young lads that may be watching, that are saying, why didn't you just go and get an arch bead? Oh yeah, you're right, why didn't I just go and get an arch bead? Well, because at the moment, as we've probably stated on this video 1,000,000 times, I'm stuck for transport at the moment, and I'd like to get this beaded up today and PVA'd, ready for skimming tomorrow morning. I can't do that without a bead. So I'll go back to old school, because this is how we used to do it before we had the plastic arch beads. Right, you can see there, so here, not touched, that's the straight part of the bead. That's the bit that will be straight on the wall. And then we've cut 2 foot 6 strips down there, like so. Now just slowly but surely, and mind your fingers, because it will cut you if you're not careful. Just slowly, surely start bending it at each point where you've cut. It's not easy, like I say, you do have to watch the old pinkies there, because this stuff will give you a nasty cut if you're not careful. Right, that's as far as we dare bend at the minute. Let's kink there, just straighten that up. Right, as you can see now we're starting to get the shape of an arch, but it doesn't end there. Because basically we can't bend it with it being sort of in position. We've got to pre-bend it and then get the right sort of size arch by pushing it into it and tacking it. I'm using some drywall screws to fix this too, because there's not a lot to fix to up there. And I found the other side of drywall screws indeed work fine. Right, so let's see if we can get this one into position. And then you're going to want to put your 2 beads to the very top of the arch, which will just be straight beads. Because you're not going to get a bead long enough to go right round the damn thing, you know. And I wouldn't recommend trying to do just the top and bead it. You better come it up and round. Alright, so excuse me. Start fixing the bead a bit at a time. And as we do it, we just gently tap it, and that'll just push it round that archway. Fixing as we go. Making sure that she's sitting nice in all areas. I'm going to fix in there. Strange, there must be something in there. Yeah, try that. Just need to get one there. I mean, you could actually use clout nails, but I find it a bit easier if you can get a drywall screw to go into the timber work of the arch itself. It's a little bit easier because the screw will start pulling it in for you slowly. So obviously the nail, you've got to try and hold it and so on. That's it, let's pull that in lovely there. Right. So that's basically all you do to form your arch. And I've done it on the other side because to do it on this side, I'll be stood in front of it and you wouldn't see me doing it because I'd have to be in front of it. So all you see is my back, which would be pointless. But anyway, you can see that side, how it works. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to cut another 1, 2 beads, get them on, and then come back to you and show you the finished results of how you can bead up an arch without going and buying a plastic arch forming bead. And there we go. That is how you can bead an arched opening without going to the expense of the plastic arch beads. It works the same, a little bit harder, but to be quite honest with you, I mean, if given the choice, I'd have gone and got some arch beads. You know, a lot simpler. But that's how you can do it. If for whatever reason you can't get an arch bead, or you've been to your local builders, merchants, and they've said, oh no, it'll be next week now, we've got any of them, and you're stuck, you need to get a job finished, that's a great way to do it.